Greetings and salutations!
Indeed, hello and welcome to the UbuPod, and today we have a guest, and your name is...
Mekbeasy. What's
Yeah.
going on? I am I'm an advocate for the TTTT movement, and I like to try to keep people up to date on what's going on in the world of MMOs.
Yeah, that is kind of what you are.
Yeah, it's kind of like I try to keep the content sort of linear, although I do kind of spray random things in there, bonus videos and whatnot. But the biggest thing I try to do is get people together, get the smaller YouTubers together to find people who like to enjoy the videos that they have, but also like to give constructive feedback and criticism, along with help them get video views and favorites and likes and comments and things like that to try to bring them more into the limelight of YouTube that is, dying ever so slowly. So the other thing I do is small MMO news videos, more or less updates about betas that are coming around, but it's kind of just something I can do that's a little bit off track from the heavy concentration of TTTT that I try to do.
Yes, that is what Mekbeasy does, and yeah, that's just to give you a bit of background story, why the hell I'm talking to a guy like him. Basically, if you know my channel, I'm doing something that's called Indie RPG, or RPG Indie, which basically is a small show where I take and showcase an indie RPG. Whenever I can get a demo or something on my hands, I just basically, I play it and I explain something about it so that you can watch something that's between 10 or 20 minutes that basically tell you how the game is, how it plays, should you buy it, should you try the demo. It's basically very simple first impressions, really, and yeah, that's seemingly what caught Mekbeasy on me, since he does his TTTT Tuesdays, in which he takes a bunch of YouTubers and yeah, he basically takes some YouTubers. He has done for the longest time. He's done like 3 YouTubers and basically showcasing their individual channels, what they make, and why we should check them out and all that. And sometimes he just does a single one. He's done a special spotlight on something, and he actually did a special spotlight on the Directors Hub, which is why I got in contact with them. If you also know, I've kind of started cooperating with them now. I've become one of their directors, as it's called, on the Directors Hub, which is kind of fine since yeah.
Yeah, what days your video goes up?
But the Directors Hub has a weekly upload schedule, basically meaning that there's one guy for Monday, one guy for Tuesday, and so on and so forth. I have Wednesday, which is
Cool.
like middle of the week. Basically, because one guy quit. Well, he didn't quit. He was fired because there was some problems with him. Sad thing. So they tried to bring in some reviewers. Since I was kind of attracted, but they took me in because of my RPG indie thing. The thing is that there aren't really many RPG indies, so I couldn't like put one out per week because basically aren't that many that really are not worth covering, but actually possible to cover. Since I try to primarily promote like CRPGs, not JRPGs, very big difference.
Yeah.
So games like I think I'm going to do one on The Legend of Grimrock, and yeah, that's hardly indie really. If you know how much attention it has got. It has just been blown away, really.
Well, one thing I know is, on the level of indie is, Minecraft originally started as like it is by far the most popular and most powerful and most successful indie project, but it's almost to the point where you can't even call it indie anymore. It is an independent company because it has no parent company, but it's massive. I mean, they've made so much money now, and they're wildly successful.
Yeah, Notch. I think I read it somewhere. Notch actually has 200 million Swedish kroners on his bank account.
Oh my goodness, that is a lot.
That's a ton. Which basically, it's kind of. I think it's a good thing. It basically shows, it gives premise that, hey, indies can be successful. And I hope, dearly, that we are entering something like the decade of the indie.
Oh, that'd be great.
Basically, since the thing is now, with digital distribution platforms, with the rise of them, we're seeing it's much easier now. When people get a decent internet connection, people can take it down on a game. People can pay people are more willing to do microtransactions now. Pay $5 or $10, $15 for a game, no problem.
And it's easier to raise awareness about your project also.
Yeah, it's very easy to raise awareness of the project. Take a look at the Kickstarter for a certain game called... yeah.
Kickstarter's great.
Kickstarter's great, and especially that one campaign with Wasteland 2. I think it was 2 days, and they reached their goal of $900,000.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't heard about it.
No, I didn't know about that.
Right now, I think they're running at about $2.1 million.
Wow, that's incredible.
And they have like a week or two left. It was amazing.
That's so incredible. And I've seen some stuff on Kickstarter. There was an indie. It was a resurrection of an older RPG, and it's gonna escape me what it was.
Wasteland.
And
is it?
It probably was. I'm not.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Wasteland 2.
And it's amazing because they have those because Kickstarter has that thing where if you donate like a sizable chunk of cash,
they would throw a party. They were going to throw a party and invite people. Yeah, you've got that. That is Wasteland 2.
And somebody totally did it, and it was fantastic. I've seen some stuff on Kickstarter. I've seen one that was I don't know if you know about Zafrank.
No, I don't know about them. Who is he?
Zafrank was like the oldest YouTube name, or I'm going to say YouTube name, but he wasn't YouTube. But he's like the oldest name on the internet. He at one time he got a webcam, and he was getting into web design. He was getting into graphic design, and he discovered that he could create a video, basically the first vlog, and he vlogged every single day of his life for a year, and he was just kind of doing a video a day, and you could see him go from like, hey, I've got this idea, and then he was really bad, and then he quit cigarettes in the process, and then he broke up with his girlfriend, then he got in a car accident, he had all these things that had happened, and it was amazing to be so involved with somebody in 2004, so it was this beautiful new thing. And he stopped. After the 1 year, he started doing a couple more videos, but he really stopped. And he recently started his Kickstarter thing back up again, and he fired up Kickstarter and was like, I want to come back. I want to do videos, and if you guys can help support me, I need a little bit of money for a couple of things. And he's like, to get the videos going, if you guys are interested. And within days, somebody had donated $50,000.
A single person,
$50,000. Yeah, one person did the because he had up this thing, he was like, I'll try to come out and see you, you'll be in the first video, and this long list of things, and it was and everything above this, because it was $1, $5, $10, and it went all the way up to 50,000, and somebody did 50,000. I'm like, I want to meet these wonderful people. I want to meet these people who were like, hey, look, indie project, boom, and they just throw, a college fund, just there you go. Here's the money to do what you want to do. And without Kickstarter, those kind of people wouldn't be able to fund these little projects. And I think that's great that there is even people in the world that will go, I want to get behind this. Bam. And then they just back it. Just all the way. I'm going to go for it. And there's just so many ways for these little independent companies to get the $50,000 they need for a license, to get the $2,000 for a computer that they can run as a hub for the creation, or whatever it is that they need. And Kickstarter's helping these people do that, and that's fantastic. And I really think that is surely going to be the birth of a new generation of independent gaming.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is the decade of the indie, I hope. It's exactly as you said. Hopefully this is going to be some sort of birth of things like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. You pinpointed it exactly. That's my hope. Those are my hopes when it comes to indies and such. And take a look at now. It's still possible for games to be done without Kickstarters. and all that. But there is, you can see like with some indie companies, basically people take a loan out of the bank and just set their lives at stake. And I don't know. I think I commented somebody on this. I actually think it was some German person. He basically said that most likely large games are like low risk projects, but large games are high risk, high profit games, and some other indie games are low risk, low profit games. And I was like, no, you're wrong about that, because basically, if you're an indie, if you're a single person, if your indie fails, if you take like 2 years of your life, take it a bank loan, say you're unemployed, you've been there for a long time, no prospect for work, make a game, and it fails. It just flat out fails, like Okami style. It sells like 100 copies. You're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, you're gambling with your life, and say if you have a family, which I know many have. That's your family's financial future.
Yep, it's high risk, man.
It's awfully high risk, and that's the thing with indies. But the thing is, you can also this was a miracle. This basically, Minecraft was a miracle, and it basically opened up the eyes of the world to indies. It was like the big, hello, we can make a difference. Because Minecraft basically, Minecraft's community is so huge. There might be only 5 million people who play it.
Only 5 million, yeah.
yeah, okay, of course, like most likely like 15 million, like 10 million pirated it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it is a major.
Yeah, take a look at. I kind of noticed this trend with large channels such as you must probably heard of them, the Yogscast and those. They make a Minecraft video.
Yeah.
1.5 million views. They make a video about something else. 300,000. What is the most lucrative? And the game is getting older. It's basically such a living community. It's like an MMO for everybody.
Yeah, the crazy thing is the amount of people who are playing it is actually, like, on a regular basis, daily and weekly, more people actually play Minecraft than some of the major titled MMOs.
I have no problem believing that Minecraft is more popular than World of Warcraft. Currently, I believe that.
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
Basically, and the thing is, Minecraft is so versatile. You basically say, you can think that Minecraft is just basic, is a pixel art, and it's like survival and zombies, and there's something. There's very many experiences you can have with Minecraft. You can be on a creative server. You can make pixel art and stuff like that. That's not really my thing, but if you want that, that's fine. That's fine. And you can just have fun with your friends, which I know. I have a friend of mine has a server, and he basically, he has a mod that basically makes it so that he can be an imposter, and he makes himself Herobrine / or God or whatever, and spawns like 50 zombies after me when I'm in a dungeon with a wooden sword. I just started out in the server. I'm still traumatized. That was horrible. But yeah. And you can also have really, really hardcore RPG experiences. So basically, people say, "Oh, there's no more true RPG things anymore," but you just have to know how to look. If you think World of Warcraft isn't true RPG, role playing, and you're completely right. World of Warcraft isn't like really true role playing. There's no like serious, even on the RPG service, there's no like serious, old role playing. So I know. Yeah. I played in a server, it's called Hollow World. I think I'll put the link in the description or something. But the thing is, that server, I had to write like at least one, perhaps two-sided application to get in. And I know for a fact there was a basically 15% acceptance rate. They were extremely picky about taking people in.
Wow.
And it was like, if you were on the server, and it was like instant kick.
Wow.
For many things. 1x1 dirt tower, instant kick, you're dead. Real life related conversations. I was talking politics, as I tend to often do, with some guy, and it was basically, okay, you two, knock it off, or you both get kicked permanently. And I was like, okay, I better shut up.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not like you can't talk. No. Like if you talked, I'm sure I could get away with that if I used like old typesetting. Or something. If I thou and thee.
You
And,
find a loophole to talk about recent.
and if I
modern
say, I
things.
whisper to him, let's change US with this other name and haha, which I'll trick all of them.
It's like talking about football in Latin.
Yeah,
You
it's
just use a dead language. It's something completely different.
something that's kind of basically you got it. And there were many villages that were settled by players, mostly moderators and such. And the thing is that they had really inspiration. Like I know for one thing, if you've ever played the Bard's Tale on, that's old, 80. Yeah,
Name
the
dropping
Bard's
stuff from the 80s.
Yeah, some Scarabray. Yeah, that was in there. That was I actually lived in that city. It was pretty cold, and it was one of since there aren't that many people on the server, it's like 25 to 50 people at all times. Which it's a decent server population. Don't get me wrong, but you can't really support a ton of cities. So the city I was living was it had like 40 people living in it. It was like a decent metropolis, and about the time I moved there, it just slowly started depopulating. Fewer and fewer people started to live there, and really, I was kind of shocked since I really got along well with some guy called T for Tacos, and he was like a really good guy, and I suddenly noticed one day, I was like 2-3 days, his house is gone. Like why? And I went to the forums and I found out he has been kicked for cheating.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was like, why did you do that? I know I wanted to start a city. To start a city, you need 50,000 gold, and that is like work basis. Like if you say mines make that do that many actions, you get so much money. But like 50,000, it's like that's at least 100 hours of gaming non-stop.
Oh,
Well, no, probably more, like 300.
that's a hell of a commitment.
That's a hell of a commitment, so I kind of understand why he cheated, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's like a gold bank. If you ever find gold, you can just sell it for 100 piece. So there were some things that were a bit more profitable. I went full-on capitalist and exploited the market. I was nearly banned. Since I found that in one city, in one side of the continent, I could buy wood for 5. I think it was like 20 or 5 or something per stack. And on the other side of the continent, which I could teleport to. This was a free travel thing. Somebody bought it for like 5 or 10 higher than that. So I was basically moving entire chests and getting ready to profit in the middle.
And they caught you for it, or did you?
That was
continue
basically
to make
I said that you've given me these opportunities. Like it's not game breaking. I'm doing something that the medieval merchants did. I'm not cheating.
Yeah. On a role play level, I guess you weren't breaking any.
No, I was not.
Yeah.
So I kind of had the ability. So I was kind of lucky since my hometown only had like these derpy stores where you could like buy coal for 100. I think it was like 150 per stack or something. Not that much more. I think it was like 20 per piece. Like really shitty prices. You could only purchase. Almost shitty prices. So it's like no.
Were you allowed to freely farm? Like, were you allowed to like go down in the mines and mine if you wanted to?
Freely mine. It's a free economy system, kind of.
Oh wow. I don't know. It's a little bit too much of a commitment.
Yeah,
to...
it was basically like there were some server elites, basically people who have been on the server for tons of time, but it was also a very welcoming server. So I remember this one guy. He basically came to the server the first time on. Like it was basically, "Hello everybody, can I get a wizard tower?" And like everybody was like, "Awesome face, sure." And he got like a badass wizard tower in the middle of one of the most popular cities. And it was like, yeah, it was basically like some people are basically very good. No, well, it's very open. So if you first passed like the initial stage, everybody thought that okay, if you managed to send an application and you got accepted and all that, people would basically like accept you. You were one of the gang.
Well, yeah, like you said, you're one of the 15%.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, I already know this guy's not an idiot. He got through the application process. So I
Yeah.
guess you could just trust everybody you see.
Yeah, you can that.
Because-
You can that. It's kind of one of the reasons why I was just shocked that that guy, Difotakis, kind of cheated. But he didn't like cheat by stealing or something. So what he did was basically, I don't know how he did it, but he spawned gold and just mined it and sold it. So it was only. I kind of. It was a crime. Kind of, it was breaking the server rules. It was permabanned and all that, but it's like, he kind of.
I
deserved
wonder if
it.
we would have done it more secretively if he could have got away with it for like a really long period of time, and then completely baffled the entire community. Like, well, he's just really lucky.
Yeah. Since one thing he did was basically spawned in like 20, 100 gold, and basically mined them all, and like they saw it in the server log.
Yeah, I would have just done it like one every few minutes, like every hour or so, one or two, and then just kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a corrupt kind of person who would.
No.
go about-
I can see. I kind of have the same thing. Like, so a murderer murdered like 3 people, like, and was caught. Like, I kind of always like find this thing basically. Why didn't you do A and B, and then you would be free? It's like.
Throw the body in front of a train, and then they can't find out who it is. No,
Brilliant.
Wow, we did exactly way off topic.
No, that's a podcast. Podcasts are a bit off topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, Minecraft is awesome. So if you're one of those people who haven't tried it, it's very varied. So perhaps you don't like the single player experience. Perhaps you don't like standard Minecraft, and I can understand that. There's a lot of things that you might not really like about it, and to be honest, single player Minecraft is a one-time experience.
Yep.
Yeah, I played it.
Yep.
I played it once, and when it was still an alpha, before the Nether was added. I'm kind of a
Okay, so it was before Halloween 2 years ago.
yeah.
It was yep. That was it's right around. I think I picked it up when it was still solely browser based.
Wow.
In Alpha
wow.
1.02, and
No. Yeah. Wow.
we got excited about hearing that it was going to go standalone. And then when the first standalone came out, it was so bad. And we had all discovered that it was Java based. And Java based runtimes are good and bad. Good as in it's as open GUI as possible, and that's why the modding community for Minecraft is so amazing, because if you can learn Java and you're good with Photoshop or you're good with GIMP and you can make stuff, you could easily make your own texture packs or your own mods for Minecraft as long as you can take some time to learn Java scripting.
Totally.
The other problem is, I have a 7-core processor, and when I run Minecraft, 5 of them freak out.
Oh yeah, sure. Or you've got one single core. Yeah.
Yeah, and Minecraft makes computers spaz. It just has such a hard time. It pushes your GPU beyond what it's supposed to do. I can play Star Wars: The Old Republic and have my GPU run at about 52 degrees Celsius with like a 49% fan usage. When I turn Minecraft on, it goes to 71 degrees Celsius and 58% van usage, and I have to manually turn it down. And I don't understand why at first, and then I looked into it and I found out it's the way the game processes the incoming data as a result of the really complex algorithm that's used. And it was such a bummer to know that, because I remember I didn't have a good computer 2.5 years ago. So I had to keep playing the browser version because the standalone was nuking my computer. And I remember, and everybody talks about, oh yeah, you can play Minecraft on anything. I'm like, yeah, as long as you don't have a GPU with a standalone fan. Because you'll sit here playing, if you have like a computer you bought at Walmart or you bought it,
Oh,
an
Walmart
electronics
quality.
depot. Yeah, oh yeah, Walmart specials, and you have one of the ones from like one of the computer, the electronics depots or whatever, and
Yeah.
it has an integrated graphics card, and the integrated graphics card doesn't make noise when you're pushing it really hard. Just if it gets hot, it turns off. And when you have a standalone GPU with a fan that you can't control, it screams when you play Minecraft. And so people are like, "Oh, it's not that demanding." On a technical level, it is. It is one of the most demanding games because Notch was lazy.
Yeah,
He used
not
Java.
this kind of people are mock the graphics as bad. But the thing is, basically, the graphics of Minecraft, well, the textures of Minecraft default, they are lazy.
Yeah.
Not just a lazy man. He's a brilliant man. And after what I've read on him, and I've kind of seen a few interviews, I don't think I would want to be connected to him in any way. But I still have that Jogscast interview, and
Oh yeah.
that was nasty.
Oh.
That was nasty. I was like,
Yeah.
it just ended up being a series of insults, and it was really sad to see. Since they have based their channel and everything on Minecraft.
They're right. They have multiple like they generate as because they're they're a company now. They're an enterprise,
Yeah.
and they generate this
Oh, by the way,
near-
by the way, about the Oxcast, they actually have a Kickstarter up now right now.
for their for their
I
game.
saw it, and I'm not going to donate to that. That's for sure.
And what's crazy is you don't even have to. Their following is so huge. It's going to
I think one day, and they had like 1,128 contributions and $60,000 raised.
Yeah, and their goal was only 250.
Yeah.
So like within one day, they were already a fourth of the way there.
Yeah,
so.
but continue.
They're interesting. The Yogscast is interesting because, like you said, they bit the hand that fed them. Like their entire existence, they couldn't have done what they're doing now
No.
based off of World of Warcraft, like they
No.
were prior to Minecraft.
Yeah.
And their whole entire success right now, as much as they say we do other things, we do betas for MMOs and we do videos for
Yeah,
these
but
other games.
basically, I'm kind of shocked by the Guild Wars 2 betas. I check them out. Like each video is like a third of what the regular video of that person gets.
If they do Shadow of Israfel, it's a 2 to 3 million view video.
Definitely.
They did the GW2 video.
Yeah,
it was
basically,
like
my
600,000.
little brother. By the way, he plays Minecraft on my post computer, which was a laptop. It has 1 gigabyte RAM.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tragic.
But it runs.
Yeah, it
Like,
runs. It runs
Minecraft?
at like 10 to 15 frames per second.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have had a very bad computer for an awful lot of time. So, like I see people complaining about like 30 FPS is horrible. No, I could play a game with 30 FPS, no problem. I could play a game with 20 FPS, kind of no problem. Like when it goes to 15 and below, it kind of becomes unplayable for even me. But like, so I would tear my hair out. It was actually so bad that his computer crashed if he watched a YouTube video while playing Minecraft.
Oh, I won't even do that.
Basically, but the thing is, he was using Internet Explorer. So I
there you
installed
go.
Firefox, and he was going to like watch
Problem
3 or
solved.
4 videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Vista, of course. Which is like,
yeah.
I'm actually thinking about either A, demoting it to XP, or B, booting up Windows 7 on it, since I think I actually have like an additional copy of Windows 7 just laying around for like no reason whatsoever. Actually do, I actually do.
If you do that, you may want to see if it has an additional RAM port, because
Yeah, the problem is the processor. The processor is a problem, since many people like complain about RAM and such. And Minecraft doesn't take that much RAM. Minecraft takes like 524, or I don't know the computer numbers.
yeah, no, it's right around that.
Yeah, it's around that.
500 megabytes. And then when it maxes out, it'll just shut you off and make you just hit go again.
Yeah, that's the thing. But
I
in a
actually have- I have-
processor, it just basically chokes.
Yes,
I think it's
it
got
bottlenecks.
a dual core 1.5 gigahertz.
Yeah, okay,
It's not.
so
It's not.
it's an old
It's
Core 2 Duo.
yeah. It's Intel. I can't. My computer has an AMD processor. I don't. AMD gives you better specs. AMD processors are better. They are faster than Intel processors, but they make more noise and they are by far much hotter.
Yeah, I run an right now I'm running an AMD Phenom X2, so I've got
Hey!
uh,
Yay! We have the same processor!
well, it's the Phenom X2, or not the X2, well, because I've got right now I've got 6 cores and I unlocked one because it's the Thuban.
Yeah.
So I just bought it. Like I just got it earlier this year. So I've got I've got 6 cores, one unlocked one that's dormant that doesn't do anything, and 8 total gigs of RAM. But
We have a very similar setup.
yeah, but when I run Minecraft, it is almost like I'm running a single, like, 1-core processor. You know what I mean? Like all 6 of them freak out and like push as hard as possible. And I'm like, why? In my Core 2 Duo, my 2-core processor was running Minecraft almost equivalent to what this one is. So
The
it's really
thing
interesting
is that basically they use one processor. I think I can perhaps help you problem if you take out it's basically change your processor affinity to processor 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
Oh my god, that's right. I forgot to change the affinity. I forgot. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm gonna do that next time I play. The fact that you just reminded me of that, when I was playing, I used to run a server for a bunch of friends of mine, and we did some really amazing things before creative mode. So it was kind of like we all got really used to the whole give blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right. And that was actually the birth of the name Mekbeasy.
Yeah, you said it was a misspelling.
Right. When we were playing, because when we would do it, we would just see, you know, the light color, and it would say server giving Mekbeasy or giving Zentados this, and when I type it wrong, it would come up publicly no player named Mekbeasy, and we would laugh because it was Mekbeast with a T, and I would constantly, really late at night when it was dark in the room, I would hit the Y instead of the T. And everybody on the server would laugh because they're like, Mekbeasy. They're like, it just sounds better. And I was laughing. I was like, it was such a habit to go like, give Mekbeasy 6464, and then you'd end up, no player names Mekbeasy. I'm like, ugh! So thankfully they let you copy paste in multiplayer servers now, which is fantastic.
Yeah, totally.
Or actually the alt up arrow or whatever it is that they added that you can cycle through things that you recently typed. That's great too. That's really nice to have, because that's being able to not have to do even copy paste, just hit enter and then hit up and then hit enter again. That's good. So, but definitely a bad idea that they went with Java. But the thing is, they forefronted this frontier of something so wonderfully simple as Minecraft. A little 16-bit chip game is incredibly successful.
Actually, I'm kind of happy that you took 16-bit, since an awful lot of people are basically abusing 8-bit or whatever, but 16-bit, that's the thing, I think.
Yeah. It's wonderful that he was able to make a world that looks like the first-person version of a over-the-head NES game, like an old Zelda. And he put you in that world, and he allowed you to create. And what's wonderful is there's actually schools that are using Minecraft to.
I can say for a certain fact that I actually in my school, I actually have a class wherein I play Minecraft. But I don't play Minecraft. Like, basically, I have a project that I'm working on that is using Minecraft.
And it's amazing. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of the videos.
Yeah.
Have you seen the scientific calculator that was created using redstone?
I've seen a actual working. Many computers are basically like calculators, but I've actually seen, which they kind of are, but I've actually seen a a proper computer-ish thing. It most reminded me of the Apple One, if anything.
Yeah, ran calculations, right?
Yeah,
it was like a tiny, really simple 8-bit computer, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, tiny, massive, but
yeah, totally.
but it was a computer within a program, and it's because in all of its amazing omnipotent simplicity, he was able to allow you to run simple on-off and gate electronics, and that is
Yeah.
all a basic processor is. It is a process of on-off in certain orders, and when you do that, on-off on-off on one. There you go.
Yeah.
Binary. And the fact that he did that, and that he's doing it again with this new project that he's coming out with. Have you heard about it?
Oh yeah. I'm subscribed to somebody who spams news.
Yeah, that OX 10 to the power
Yeah.
C. The speed of light minus 1988 is the maximum number of available fields in a 48-bit system. I sat down and worked that out with somebody the other day. The number, that OX10C, is the scientific notation of the speed of light 1,988 ticks too high. But if you were to, or the speed of light, and then if you take 1,988 from that final number, it becomes the exact amount of fields available in a 48-bit system in which he's creating for the game. When you play the game, he has a tiny 48-bit system computer that runs within the game.
Wow.
And it's that
But he's doing it in Java.
Yeah, but I mean, and on a technological programming standpoint, that's absolutely beautiful. That he created a computer within a game that works.
Yeah,
that's not just like a predetermined if and else condition where like I clicked here and it turned on. No, you have to type turn on. Like you have to actually run it like a computer, and that's fantastic.
Basic. The program language.
It's beauty and simplicity, man.
And simplicity.
So, all right.
We're getting kind of off track right now.
Well, yeah, but I definitely. Well, it's a good topic. The first topic that we're talking about is
Minecraft.
Independent companies, right?
Yeah, more to the point.
And can you imagine that we just had this conversation with also these hundreds of other people on YouTube and hundreds of other podcasts that have these same conversations about this little guy and his 4 friends in an apartment that made a game because he didn't like what they were teaching him how to do in his university.
Yeah.
He just was like, let's make a game. Multimillionaire.
Yeah, he basically made so much money so quickly. It basically shows that if you have the right thing, I'm certain. So okay, Minecraft is a special thing since Minecraft is a universal project. But I think you could do that with an RPG. I've seen some very, very promising things from a small company that's called Coke and Code. Which basically they make I have some strange love for 8x8 graphics. Basically means 64 pixels per sprite-based graphics. They do something like that, and they actually have an MMO based on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's free and it's on Steam. So I would actually suggest when I do podcasts, it's a very, very casual MMO. Basically, drop in. It's permadeath. It's like you don't get very attached to the characters. But it's like if you've ever heard about The Journey, it's kind of like that. It's instant multiplayer. There isn't really any chatting system, but basically, you connect with people. You talk with people. Say if you meet somebody and you like cooperate, killing a boss, and you just start travel together, and slowly you create a bond.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's kind of incredible.
I find that is the core thing that brought me to the world of MMOs.
Yeah.
All these years ago, is that it was a universal tool to connect with the entire world.
Yeah, basically, so World of Warcraft. The reason why World of Warcraft still lives is because people played it in the past. People have friends. People have friends in World of Warcraft.
Exactly.
I played World of Warcraft, but it was like 6 years ago. Even during the good period of World of Warcraft, like
okay, yeah, you played in vanilla.
no, not vanilla, but like 05 to 08, which I think that was like the Burning Crusade time or something.
Well, the game came out in
Four.
05. The very end of
Oh.
was it No, yeah, it came out in the very end of '05, November of 2005,
Yeah.
and but it ran in its beta all the way through 2004, and then in the beginning of 2006 until right around the middle of 2007. Because I'm actually looking at my I have a BlizzCon 2007 poster, and in 2007 they had announced Burning Crusade.
Okay.
Like
So,
they-
okay. Fine. Since basically, I this is a I played quite some while ago. I mean, basically, there was a time I really didn't speak or write that good English. My English wasn't really that good. So basically,
Oh,
by playing
wow.
with my friends, and I don't know what was the case. But I think they just got tired by playing playing the game, and basically it's all quit. And I was like the only one playing, and I was I it was it was a MMO, but it was a very, very lonely game for me, so I basically quit right afterwards, since MMO has nothing to go for it. Well, you can get what you have in an MMO in a single player experience much better, but the thing is that the one thing that single player doesn't have is more players.
There's other people,
Yeah,
right?
basically other
Single
people.
player.
Other people. I kind of feel like quoting one of my favorite quotes. But some guy, he has actually written a book which I own on CRPGs. It's a fantastic book. But basically, he said on Oblivion, well, other RPG developers went tried to make MMOs to harvest the profits of the growing genre. Bethesda found out that other people were hell and created the single-player MMO.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Yep.
basically did that. The best way to
that's-
describe Oblivion is single-player MMO.
And people are trying to talk about, the mod that somebody's trying to build right now to make Skyrim into a multiplayer
They
experience.
tried
And
that. They tried that with Oblivion, and I kind of support them, but I kind of still don't. Since the thing is, that Skyrim is single player. It cannot. Perhaps you can have like a small server with your friends and something, but it can't exist in grand scale, which is what MMOs are. So the thing I'm really looking forward to is the Elder Scrolls, the very MMO of it. Since basically I asked for an opinion on it by actually a same German guy actually mentioned earlier. He's kind of intelligent and has a very very good point on many issues. But he basically said that would be different. He said that that would change the entire feel of the game. He's really not a Bethesda fanboy. He really didn't care for Oblivion, and he played some Skyrim, but he really got bored quickly from it.
Well, something that the Elder Scrolls series really strives off of, I would believe, is the persistent world, where things you do directly affect things around you. And
Yeah,
the
but
choices
basically
you
that's
make-
one of the larger controversies about the genre, about many things about that thing. Because basically, some people basically mean that. I think he said it. I don't know if that was the German guy. I'm quoting again, or if somebody else. But basically, Skyrim is this huge, wonderful, 3 feet deep pool. It's not deep. It's not deep at all. But I was like,
Right.
no, that's wrong. Skyrim is extremely deep. It's extremely tons of lore. It's tons of lore in it. Tons of lore in it. But the thing is, you don't get the lore. You do not get any of the lore unless you don't get it answered. You don't see how everything connects and how
Right.
an insanely huge story that intertwines perfectly Skyrim is, unless you read the books. And that's kind of
Right.
the thing that basically meant like the reason that I'm happy they did that, since Skyrim doesn't throw anything down your throat. If you want to go around and kill people with a sword, you can do that. There's nothing stopping you. You can do
Right.
mass homicide. You can download a mod and you can kill children with it, and you have the full freedom. So it doesn't throw anything at you, but still, it was kind of making a point. A certain person I remember saying that it's kind of a bad thing that the books don't have voice acting, since that would make things very much easier for people to experience. Since basically, so if a book had voice acting connected to it. Basically, say you open a book and a teller starts to read. Yeah, that would get
Right.
many more people into the like lore of the game. And
Right. And audiobooks, I wish audiobooks had more attention than they did. You know,
Yeah.
I really like listening to audiobooks.
Definitely.
It's like I guess it's kind of like podcasts. The same reason I like listening to podcasts is that you can listen to a story, but
Yeah,
you know,
but
learn a little bit.
audiobooks. I remember as a child I had tons of audiobooks. I like reading books. I really love stories and books. I basically, if you ever heard about The Magician, there's a book series made by some guy somewhere. I basically read
Some guy.
some guy somewhere. I don't care about him. But the books, I read them. I read the first book, which was like 700 pages. I just read it through. Like I haven't read the Lord of the Rings, but I don't really. I think I intend to. But I really enjoy a good story. So I have no problem with reading something, which is one of the things in Skyrim. Say many people just read one book, and well, I didn't like this book, so most probably all of the other books are shit. That is not the case. Like you might find the biography of Ben Zariah boring. You might find the Argonian account boring, but they are all these small miscellaneous books thrown about. Like the books you find in secret locations, they tend to be pretty damn good. Like I was reading one. I was basically walking without using fast travel because I like experiencing things, and I saw this thing in the distance. This strange ruin, so I went over there. And it was a puzzle. Pretty simple puzzle, but still, it was a puzzle. So I solved the puzzle, and it unlocked a gate. And there was a skeleton with a chest, and I opened the chest, and there was a book. And I read that book, and I think it was a hypothetical treachery. It was written in a very, very hard style to read. It was mainly like Old English, something that was. It wasn't like written in Old English, but it was like as hard as Old English to read.
Right. It was a dead writing style.
Yeah, it was a pretty dead writing style. But the story touched me. It was brilliant. Like it was just one of those few things that just brilliant.
Yeah, I really think you would like the story for Dear Esther.
Yeah,
did you ever see
I've kind of been into Dear Esther. I like watched parts of a Let's Play, but I haven't.
Oh
no,
man,
I
think
parts of it. Like I
Yeah.
watched like 4 parts, so an hour. The first hour, it come to the caves and that area. So the story hasn't been spoiled to me.
it really literally can't unless you watch 6 different people play the game.
No, that's the thing. There's a replay value in it, but it's not by playing. It's not the game doesn't have a replay value because it's an interactive
No, it's about 3
audio
hours
book.
long.
It's an interactive audio book.
Right.
But
The entire what happens is if you start the game, there's no direction.
No.
You start the game, and it's kind of there. Here we are, and you see roads, and you're like, I'm gonna take this road. And if you happen to be one of the people who have like a weird strike of luck, you may go from the beginning of the game to the final cutscene in about an hour. But if you're just like every other curious human being, you'll accidentally take the wrong road, like every single wrong road. And when you do that, you change the story. If you go from the lighthouse, to the final cutscene, the entire final 6 lines of recorded dialogue may be about him missing somebody. I miss you. I really wish you were here. If you go down another path and you choose not to go down like one road, like you look at a road and you're like, you know what, I don't have 10 minutes to walk the wrong direction and walk back, I'm going to go this way. He might be having a nervous breakdown. He's like, the numbers, they don't go together, the numbers, I don't understand. And the boat's gone and it never came back. And it's really incredible.
Holy
and
shit.
it actually brought me to tears, completely honestly, at the very end, because I played it through, and luckily I had chosen... I remember when I walked down the first wrong road, basically, the one that didn't lead anywhere. It went to a dead end, but there was dialogue. I sat there with my mouth open, and I leaned back in my chair like, oh my god, this is about to be an experience. this is about to be something I'm going to remember.
Yeah, it's
And-
like playing Amnesia for.
Right,
Yeah.
and I kind of started going the wrong direction on purpose, where I was like, okay, I know that's where I need to go, but I want to see what's over here. I want to see if there's a book. I want to see if there's writing or something. And then there was a whole bunch of chemistry,
Ethanol, I think.
ethanol, caffeine, and alcohol, and they were all different things that were around. And when you go to the certain areas where those are at, you get a little bit of a different story, and you're like, oh no, is this guy seeing people that weren't there? And you're starting to like get worried about your character.
Yeah.
And you're like, but if you go from, if you go a different direction other than walking towards the boats or whatever you do, that thought will never go through your head. You'll never think, oh no, he's talking to people that are never there. You're thinking, oh man, we're gonna find somebody, and like you get an entirely different experience. There's like 6 different ways the game could end, but you get an entirely different experience every time because the dialogue will change depending on where you went to before you went here.
Yeah.
So if you went to C, if you went and visited, if you're supposed to go from A to D, and you went A, C, B, D, then C is going to be different, D is going to be different, but B is going to stay the same.
Yeah.
So the order that you did the other pieces of the puzzle in completely changed the way the final piece looks.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It is one of my top games of the year. I still haven't ran into anything that has trumped it. I refuse to do a Let's Play only because
That would ruin it, kind of.
I don't want to play it 6 times. Yeah, I would rather do part of the story and then fade it out and say go buy it, damn it, and then not do another video, and then people give them blue balls and make them want to do it.
People buy from Let's Plays. I know for personal experience that I ended up buying Might and Magic 3 because of a Let's Play a certain person did of it, and I just basically just bought it at GOG with a 6-pack with Might and Magic. So yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
But we have to get a bit on track since we're like half an hour left.
Right.
We haven't covered a single one of the bloody topics. Okay. But yeah, you said something about Neverwinter. As of NMOs that are going to come out, Neverwinter Nights.
You wanna? I was gonna say you want to take a break for a minute and then we can come back around.
No, please not. Please don't. We can just go. We can just keep going since. Yeah, we can maybe. Let's just see how things go, okay? But okay.
Okay, we got about 30 minutes.
Yeah. Neverwinter Nights.
Okay, yes.
Neverwinter
Nights MMO.
Yeah.
It is a action RPG MMO. So what that basically means is instead of the typical stand still, cast the spell,
Yeah.
the fireball comes out and then you walk away, it is more of a incredibly fast pace, running around slashing through things, like not quite over the top action, but totally cool amounts of combat, almost combo based, but it is still going to work like Neverwinter does, with the way that the spells work in a sense, I guess I can say. But it is finally in an alpha state. The game was in process for I want to say a little over 2 years, and it finally got into alpha, and this week was actually past PAX East. So it's the big gaming convention where it's kind of like the new E3, where you go there to announce games that are coming out, sequel. And at PAX East, they had a playable version of Assassin's Creed 3. They had all these other stuff, but one of the main big projects that was out there that people were doing interviews for was literally Neverwinter Nights MMO. So it is still based in the same world and universe, but it will be played with the characters, the archetype characters that you're familiar with, and the spells that you're familiar with, in an MMO scale, which is really great because they're trying to touch on this new action RPG thing that other MMOs are trying to do, like Terra, and they're trying to get into this new really wild, out of the normal cheese grater MMO concept, and I think the Neverwinter Night label may help this game go forward.
Yes, this Neverwinter Nights was a really big thing. It basically it was a pre-MMO kind of, since you could make your own levels, I think, and
1997, I believe, is when the initial one
Like
And the dungeon, creating your own dungeons and stuff. That was always cool.
that was people like creating content and sharing it.
Yep.
Yeah, but that
Yep.
people like that. So I'm kind of I'm kind of looking forward to that now, since I don't know how they will adapt it. How would they go about doing that?
Uh, I find that it's gonna be probably something that you're gonna ease into really slowly. Like the initial experience
Yeah.
you have in the game will feel more single player like,
Yeah.
and you'll have like a almost like a hand holding tutorial to get you out of the. Okay, welcome to Neverwinter Nights. You know how this game plays, and you'd be clicking and playing, going, yeah, this feels rather similar to the single player.
But
And
the
then
thing is, most probably, since all MMOs are like that right currently now, they're
Right.
going to be aimed at the mainstream. So you're probably going to get a pretty detailed tutorial.
right, and then they're just gonna slingshot you into a major city.
Yeah.
And
But
have to meet-
you kind of remind me of RuneScape. If you ever heard about the tutorial island
Oh.
concept there, you basically teleported to an island. You basically tell you how to use all your skills, and you you're teleported to wherever the noob city, if I can use
Right.
that term.
Right. That's probably how they're going to go about it. And my thoughts about it are more blasé than anything, because I feel it could possibly take the same trek that like Lotro or Aeon did, where it's going to be a big name and a big project, and then it's going to peter out really bad.
Yeah.
I have hopes for it, but do I think it's going to
The
be?
Rift, for example. Holy.
It's right. And the cool thing about Rift is Rift has a really solid player base. And it has about 1.5 million players that have been there since the gates opened. And the thing about Rift is it's an acquired taste, I want to say. It's a JRPG style CRPG,
So
which is
it's interesting, but we can't really
It's-
cover too much.
yeah, it's like it's so hard to because macro based MMOs.
World of
are
Warcraft
crazy.
nuke.
Right.
Fist the
They're
keyboard.
really- Right, you just bang bang bang, and there you go, because they actually literally made it so that the core spells and core rotations that you do within the game can be led together with a macro, just 3 3 3 3 3 3 4,
Yeah.
and then you just do that again. And for some people that's the viable, okay, I don't mind playing that way, because if you can overlook the macro thing, it is a jaw-dropping game. It is a beautiful game. It is a well-playable game. It's a very strong title. Good story, good content, good encounters. But for me, the playing part with the macros that kills it, because I want to be engrossed in what I'm doing,
Yeah.
not skipping through it. It's kind of like hitting spacebar to get through cutscenes. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, whatever. So I feel like Neverwinter might end up doing that, only because it is going to try to bring something new to the table, but not something new to the universe. They're sort of just rehashing a story that's already there instead of creating something from scratch.
Yeah.
But the MMO market is incredibly overinflated right now as it is.
You don't
so
say.
Right. So it's like I feel like some of the big trees have to die for the saplings to get the sun. And
I think of a certain
there's
game.
not enough big trees that are ready to die. Yeah,
I
and,
can
and I
think
don't
of a
wanna
certain
go,
one.
Yeah, and I don't want to go through, go around bashing.
No, you know, you.
big titles.
We are not
But-
haters. We don't hate.
Yeah, but I do feel that there are multiple really old games that actually need to kind of lay down and die.
Like basically, you can see with EverQuest. EverQuest is basically it has done its like MMO phase. Nobody I say in their right mind will go and just, hey, EverQuest, I will play that now. It's basically like first MMO experience. You don't start EverQuest.
Yeah, why would you? Yeah, you don't want to start there now. All these other MMOs have made it so you get the entire EverQuest 1 experience before level 10.
Yeah, that's
You know,
the
and,
thing. That's the thing. So it is dying. I actually have it on my Discord. It went free to play, and I think that is the way, like slow death cycle.
It's like a retirement
It's a
home.
retirement home.
The
It's kind of pleasant.
free to play.
It's kind of pleasant, but you know what it means.
Yeah, and the people who played it for years are like, you know what, I'm all right. I think it's time to let go. I know Star Wars Galaxies, when they shut down, they killed themselves because Star Wars: The Old Republic was coming out, and they wanted Star Wars: The Old Republic to do really well.
Oh
And
yeah,
they said,
yeah.
why do we? And they're like, why do we want to have two Star Wars MMOs running? You know,
I can see the point in that definitely, but yeah.
but other MMO companies aren't doing that. You know, I mean, nobody is investing in these new MMOs. Everybody is just trying to eat off of the same cow, and you gotta move on.
Yeah.
So it's a dangerous market to get involved with. But
I hope Bethesda fare well. I kind of, it's going to be a completely different experience. When you, but a thing I hope is they're going to make the world huge. It's the kind of thing I want to have. I want to have like fewer servers, but it's a huge world. Since Tamriel is huge.
Yeah,
Like
kind of like Eve, because Eve is just one giant server.
yeah.
know,
I
instead
talk
of
about
just little ones.
that. Yeah, but Eve is one huge server. Definitely.
Yeah,
But yeah, you do. You just kind of move topic here. We have to rush through, kind of.
oh yeah, no.
So you work. You are involved with TTT. Can you kind of tell us a bit more about that, perhaps?
Right. So Together to the Top was initially started by Athene Wins, who anybody from around 2006, 2007 would know him as the best paladin in the world. And he was a heavy World of Warcraft player that developed a cult following. And around last year, the last few years, actually, I want to say last year or two, he began a new community that sadly, without going into detail, he's kind of lost track of. But he started this community that was because he knew that he was starting to become a name on YouTube because machinima.com and warcraftmovies.com started to die. And he said, all right, I'm going to move my entire effort onto YouTube. I'm going to go away from these third-party video hosters. I'm not going to use these other websites. I'm just going to do YouTube. It's really easy to do. And his cult following came with him. But he does, he's a little self-righteous about it, but he does put out some really, really good quality World of Warcraft PvP videos because he is a good player. But what he knew is that there were other players that weren't as good as him, that didn't have good quality, that when you search World of Warcraft, you come up with, their videos. And he thought, well, this isn't fair. He's like, this isn't right because I know I have good quality videos, and I can't possibly compete with this 3 million subscriber powerhouse. So what can I do? So what he did is he reached out to the small YouTube community and actually his commenting section, is what I want to say. And it was mostly, we'll say 80% comprised of people who had never made a YouTube video in their entire life. And what he did is he simplified the video creation process and said, guys, watch these 2 or 3 videos and learn how to make easy videos and start making your own videos. He's like, and become somebody. He's like, because I know that these smaller YouTubers have this opportunity. And after he did that, he said, all right, now I know that you guys have YouTube videos. And I've seen some of them, and I love them. And he was doing videos where he'd go out in the middle of his town, and he'd go out to malls, and he would yell out the names of his subs. I don't know all of what that did, but it was a publicity. But it was a publicity thing, and it was a dedication to his subscribers because he was literally saying, these guys have good videos. Like, you didn't have videos at all last year, and now you have videos, and I love those videos. And he wanted to take all of the people who had just became YouTubers as of a result of his efforts, and he wanted them to get together and help each other become the new top searched, the new top liked, top commented, top favorited. And what happened in the last few months is his control over the TTTT thing, which stands for Together to the Top, has diminished to almost evaporated. And what happened is that there's no real leaders that are forefronting movements. So what I did is I took it upon myself, regardless of his permission or not.
It's basically become a brand. It's something you can do. It's kind of thing.
Right. And you don't get paid to do it, and he doesn't pay me to do it, and I don't, any of that. It's just something that I wanted to take the core people, just like he used to, where he would go through, his thousands of people who were sending him videos, and he would go, wow, this guy, Big Papi Chulo, which is somebody who he's really close with now. When he originally found Big Papi Chulo, he was like, this dude is funny, he's bilingual, he's like, hey everybody, we're having a good time today, and then he'll say it in Spanish, which is like really, really unique, because you've never seen people do that. And when he did that, Athene was like, this is awesome, and no one knows who he is. And that's what I do, is I go through and I go, wow, that was really entertaining. And this guy is doing TTTT, but he's got, 20 subscribers, 100 subscribers. This guy, I need people to know who he is.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like no one else is taking the time to expose these people other than themselves. And being on the YouTube spectrum, I know actually how hard it is to get exposure. And since I would have loved that if somebody was to do the same thing for me when I first started. And when I had that exact thought, I thought, okay, nope, I'm dedicating my channel to give that feeling to other people. Because if I would have got a really good feeling from getting the spotlight, I absolutely know other people will. And I think it's been totally, totally successful. It is a very rewarding experience, and I've got nothing but positive feedback.
Yeah, great, man.
Right. Now, the other thing is, though, what makes it different from sub for sub?
Yes.
Sub for sub is a popularity contest. It's kind of like getting the most likes on MySpace. Like, the most I like this on a Facebook post or a MySpace post. What it is actually just people have this sensation that having 1,000 subscribers means you have good content.
Doesn't.
And what sub for sub was initially for was actually supposed to make it so you could get subscribers that wanted to watch you, but what it became was, I want to hit 2,000 right now. I don't want to work for them. I just want to have 2,000. I want people to think I have good quality only because I have a bunch of subscribers. And what TTT does is the exact opposite of that. It actually targets the people who have about 100 or something subscribers, and it lets another 100 or another 20, another 30, whatever the small number is, know who they are, and they can become somebody who they look up. Because I know part of my friends, my close friends, will watch my TTT videos, and before totally subscribing, they'll watch the videos for about a week, and they'll watch the video, and they'll watch a video, and they'll go, you know what? I'm tired of searching this guy. I'm going to subscribe, so I can just click a button and go to where he is.
Yeah, it's to a large extent what it's basically is with me, since you showcast those, and I don't subscribe immediately to whoever you shout out. So it's like
most of the time it's just a shout out.
Sometimes I'm not really interested, but I know that you have a really hardcore following with Amibot. And the Great Fish. Yeah.
Yep.
So I didn't get that many subs when you first announced me. I got like 3, I think. I was really grateful, since you didn't really establish a ton of things, but the thing is that it was really heartwarming that you did. Really, thank you. It was,
Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing is, when you just recently released that video, I think I got like 2 or 3 another ones. So you're piling on a pile. You're constantly adding more and more people that follow you, and you're creating kind of a forced thing. And I'm very impressed by how things are going.
And what's wonderful about it is to exemplate what TTTT is in a nutshell. Is I have a wonderful group of people that follow me, like you say, and my comments and my videos and my subs.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't comment on larger videos. I try my best to comment. If you make a video, I try my best to comment. If I don't have anything, I don't have anything. But say if I watch a larger video, I don't bother anymore. It's like I want to save my comments. I want to save my positivity. I want to save it for you guys, you people who make. Like, I've recently taken a fancy to commenting on Emrot's videos, and I've started watching his Minecraft Let's Play, because, well, he's a part of the community.
Yeah, exactly. And what's great is I only have 77 subs, but those 77 almost all watch my videos as soon as they go. They almost all... And it's like, man, I know that there are people around, that have roughly the same thing I do. And it's more like, it's not really about, you know, hey, let's become YouTube famous. It's more about, let's make my experience on YouTube and let's make my efforts for videos an enjoyable and wonderful experience. And so far, the people I've connected with personally, like you, like yourself, and like Emroth and them, and for myself, I know I'm having a wonderful time on YouTube. You know, not a moment has passed in my mind that I said, this was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Because any little tiny bit of positive feedback is enough to get me going for like the next few months.
Yeah, same
like,
here,
you know,
same here.
Yeah, and you're like, man, that was awesome. I'm so glad that that video, somebody found it entertaining, they laughed, they replied, they got something out of it. That means so much more than logging on and seeing 1,000 views on the video.
Yes.
I might have 56 views or whatever, but I've got 13 comments of all people who took something from the video. That means way more than anything.
Definitely,
and I think that is what the
definitely.
bread and butter. The bread and butter of TTTT is just that. It is an active,
Community thing.
friendly community, not just a sub-whoring.
Yeah, that nailed it, definitely. But also, you had kind of an interesting opinion on YouTube partnership. Just to clarify my own opinion on that. So you said
Right.
you kind of didn't want YouTube partnership. Now, I personally, I think if I ever become eligible, or whatever how it's pronounced, eligible,
Right.
I want to get a partnership. Because there are a few reasons for that. First of all, that actually your videos more easily get more views because you're higher promoted in the search rankings. You can create shows which are very prioritized and such. And the thing is, when you say like 1,000 views, it doesn't really mean that much. But the thing is, I think if I used active tagging, if I try to use, I try to use active tagging, I try to just really get my content out, because I know that, say if I have 100 views, like it's a fraction of them. A fraction of them are going to find this entertaining. A fraction of them are going to laugh. And a fraction of them are going to be happy. So, and more views I manage to, well, you can say, haul up or something, the more people I will connect with. So it's I kind of have the thing with YouTube partnership. Your videos get slightly promoted, and that gives you ability to grow. Since I would like someday to become a large YouTuber, I can't see me doing this for like a living or something, but I would kind of like to have a sizable community someday. That would be awesome.
I wish there was a way of going about getting those benefits that you're talking about without getting paid to do it.
Well, the thing is paid. I would also like to be paid for it, but the thing is, I wouldn't want to bother with commercials. But the thing is,
Yeah,
greed is a very powerful emotion. But it is a very negative emotion, and a thing with human nature. But the thing is, if you can use it correctly, you could turn it into something positive. And that's the thing. If I get paid for my YouTube videos, I know I will get a kick. It's the same as community kick. You get a positive feedback kick, and you're getting money from it as well. It lays on the top, and you really, really get this thing that you want to make better content. So you're taking that negative feeling of greed and turning it into something positive.
I feel that if I was to become monetized, though, and that because I entirely understand what you're saying, I have to completely change the content of my channel, because what my #1 most viewed videos are the TTTT things, and the TTT things are an act of bringing in viewership and awareness of new channels.
Yeah, but basically, I get what it.
If I got paid to do that, I would be getting paid for showing someone else's videos, and it was almost like YouTube paying me to get them subs, but it's more or less I'm getting paid for their content. And it feels hoary.
Yeah, okay. That you might have a point with that, since that's not the case with me. That is not the case with me.
Yeah, no, your channel, I can totally understand your channel doing it, and because your channel is already entertaining as it is, and if you were getting paid to do it, and you were to start flinging content out there, you know, as long as the quality of the content stays the same, I can understand it. If I started another YouTube channel in the future that was mainly gaming or mainly talking or commentating
you could do, you know
news,
what, if you put out a new channel, basically, this is my secondary channel. I will do gaming content on that channel. I think you would have at least have 50 subscribers on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Quickly.
I just wouldn't monetize this channel.
I think
if I was doing
definitely.
TTTT on one channel, that's the one I'm not gonna monetize at all.
Entirely.
It just doesn't feel right. I wouldn't feel right knowing like if they were like, oh hey, I got spotlighted by Mekbeasy on their channel, their viewers are gonna go, who's Mekbeasy? They're gonna click my name and I'm gonna get paid for it. And I'm like, damn it, because I'm not giving the people I spotlight part of my money for it. So why should they be giving me money?
That's the thing. Since
it's just a really selfless kind of view.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. Since you're not going to get huge amounts of money, so I just face palm and laugh. I just people who like 14-year-olds COD players and I'm going to get rich and I can do triple no scopes.
Trying to get partnered. I'm trying to get paid for it. No, actually, your parents will get paid for it. I guess so. Surely.
Yeah, but
you're gonna make
the thing
32 cents.
Yeah, I actually know how much money you would make. There's Social Bait. Social Bait is a fantastic website.
I listened to your podcast, and you brought that up.
Yeah, I wouldn't earn 20 if I had the
hooked.
worst CPM I can have, since a bit on the CPM rates. Currently, the standard CPM rates, since you don't get any money from mobile views, since mobile views don't have ads displayed on them, which is a problem. I hope they fix that. But the thing is, like you would approximately have with one like sidebar ad, you would get 2.5 CPM, like $2.5 per 1,000 views. So, if I was getting paid that amount, I would get about per day. I would get like 75 cents. And that's not going to change my life. I don't live in Uganda or something, so that's enough. That's not an amount for me. Like, but there's the prospect of earning money on it will motivate me.
Mine says that I would get 36 cents per day on average, like a point 30. Oh yeah, it's 36. So anywhere between 92 and $100 a year. And you're right, that's not life changing. But the moral value behind it, it outweighs it greatly.
Yeah, I can see your moral value. But the thing is, when it comes to Minecraft things, but YouTube partnership things, it's kind of a thing. YouTube partners, YouTube has gone from partnering established things to partnering potential. Like if you, so YouTube has kind of gone into that like community thing. Like before, it was only like had 5,000 subscribers, you may get accepted. But now they're trying to just monetize everything and everybody who has a talent. Since I know that currently the minimum-ish things are about 200 subscribers, 100,000 views. If you have that amount, you will probably, if you have talent and you have that amount, you will get partnered.
And it's only a fiscal gain for them.
Yeah.
You know, like they're not going to lose money from putting advertisements anywhere.
Not.
Even if they only make a few cents off you, they're making money. They're okay with it.
They're okay with it, and that's kind of a thing. So it would be kind of awesome if they just monetized. I kind of like the thought of YouTube partnership, but I think it should be even easier to get for people who are talented.
Right. Well, I'm right there behind you. If you start making a push for it, like a campaign for awareness, I'm definitely going to back you up on it, because if I want to see anybody, anybody end up getting a solid partnership, other than like aimbot and that. But I've got some friends. Some of my subs are already monetized, which is great because I do my part and watch their videos and like it and all that. But definitely, if you end up pursuing it, I would try to get behind you and help campaign it, because
it would be fantastic. It would be personally fantastic for me to be partnered. I would be very, very happy.
Right, and as long as you're making like a few dollars, like even if you were to make $1 a day, that ends up adding up at the end of the month. $30 a month that you didn't have in your pocket in the beginning of the month.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's small amounts, and basically, I hope that it can possibly replace a summer job. I am a very lazy person. I don't like holding a job. I like.
That's when it becomes really hard, though. You got to start making a living off of it, or at least not even really a living, but at least a minimum wage living off of it, and it's kind of because of all your other options you have.
The thing is, once you get that point, you kind of, if you continue to pump out content, you're on an upward hill. It's basic.
Oh yeah, it'll never go away. You'll always make more money, and you're not going to get
Yeah,
fired.
yes, you can
or laid off.
only win on YouTube, which is one of the things I really enjoy about it. Unless
I
you
like that. I like the way that's
are a YouTuber who loses his or her soul, like say Fred for Fred for
Yeah.
Fred for example, Athene, yeah, basically like
Foxcraft.
Shane Dawson TV. I think I don't watch those people. Basically, once you stop making content, you when you get to the point when you're losing subscribers, you're pretty dead.
Yeah, if you go, when you're losing subscribers, you make a video and you lose 10 or 12 people.
You're dead.
That's when it hurts, because you're like, uh-oh, that means the content has completely shifted, and the people who were watching me are like, I'm not interested in this. Click.
Yeah.
I've only lost 2 subscribers total, and that was because I deleted my secondary account, and my friend went to
Yeah, you
the
had this one. I think it was I was kind of like exchanging comment with you, and suddenly the account changed. I was like, "What the fuck?" I just saw that you had like 2 subscribers, and it was like a video of you showing a tattoo, which is kind of awesome, actually. I like that tattoo.
Oh yeah, you went to the other channel. I just actually cleared that channel off, because if I'm going to change channels, I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
I have 3 tattoos now, but that was back last year. I got it done, and it was my very first one.
Yeah.
So.
Cooling, by the way.
Yep. Yes. Very cool. It's a treble bass clef, and I have a reconnaissant in poche, which goes down my left arm, and I have a raven sitting atop a skull on my back shoulder.
I've never really
right
been
on.
into tattoos. I'm kind of have a thing with I don't want to do something extremely stupid with my body and then regret it for the rest of my life. Even though
Right.
probably in like
Yeah,
20
they're
years you can
decisions.
just completely remove a tattoo, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, they're seriously life decisions.
Yeah.
They're options that you make. But I thought about them. I thought pretty well
Yeah.
on all the ones.
You're
that-
intelligent.
they're-
You probably made the right decision. Yeah.
Right, and they're things that when I'm 60, I'll look at, and then they'll go, "Oh, what is that?" And then I can sit there and tell them a story. This is why I got
Yeah.
it. And, oh, wow, when did you get it? When you were 20? I got it at 19. Whoa, so.
Yeah. Basically,
Those
the
look
thing
cool.
is, I've this kind of one acquaintance. He's not doing too well. Used to be he's on like he's tons of tattoos, and like some of them are really stupid. Like,
Got a piercing.
I don't like piercings. I have nothing against you if you like piercings, but like, I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna give you my
I
wallet.
don't have
I'm
a
just-
single one. I'm not even about them.
I
can't do that.
Nor can I. Basically, it's the things are not going too well for him for many levels, but it's slightly his own fault, and yeah. So he's I kind of have this very negative relationship with tattoos, since all of the people I know that really have many tattoos are people who things are not going well with at all.
Right, it's more of a statement than it is
Yeah,
a
like,
a symbol.
but I
For me, they're
think you're different though. You're definitely different.
Right. So, well, we're at about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Now. So, are you? We're probably gonna have to
Yeah,
wrap
we
it up soon, aren't we?
definitely have to wrap it soon. And it's by the way, this video most probably will come up tomorrow, since rendering this takes fucking forever.
Yeah, I'm sure. But are you using Sony Vegas or anything?
Yeah,
like
no, I
that?
didn't use Sony Vegas. I used Camtasia. But the thing with kind of recording programs, I tried like the trial version of this Sony Vegas, and I was like, I can do really many cool things with this. But what I'm not going to make like fancy graphical effects or something. That's not my thing. So the thing with Sony Vegas, you can do tons of things in it that are really cool, but everything you do takes 6 times the amount of time. Yes, it takes
absolutely.
tons of time to do things. So basically,
Not only that, when you put an effect and you render
Yeah.
you'll watch the rendering bar get to that point in the video and almost stop.
yeah,
Because it just takes so much
Definitely.
effort for a computer to render effects.
and I use Camtasia, which is it's a darn good program. I don't think they support it anymore. I think perhaps an 8, but I have the 7th version. And it can render things at 1280 times 620. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to look into it because I don't know a whole lot about Camtasia.
Camtasia
But I know
basically
you.
lets you do a good amount of things. It's basically, if you want to make videos, yeah, you can have that. It's not going to make the special effects, but if you just want to process videos and make adapt to them and all that, like perhaps add some effects, some like slide down bars and things like that, you can do that. But that's about what you can do. But the things that does, it does very well.
Yeah, it takes a small amount of time, like you said.
It's
For
extremely
me to get
simple. It's
cascading-
extremely simple. I was like facepalm of doom when I first opened up Sony Vegas because I didn't understand a shit. But
It takes a gross amount of time to
Yeah.
do simple things like cascading words, to get words to come down like I did in the TDH video. The TDH spotlight was like to have their names cascade like I did, took 7 individual tracks, and I had to edit them in a specific manner. And I was like, this sucks.
Camtasia probably couldn't do that, but everything it's just that it steamrolls. You could just go from a video. I can take a raw recording and just make it ready with all effects and all that in 2 minutes.
Make it look good and entertaining. Oh man, that I really, I'm jealous. I'm jelly. I'm jelly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Damn you, $700 program.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
well, is there anything else that we should try to cover? Because I mean, like I said, outside of the YouTube partnership, I mean, my views on YouTube are mostly positive.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Yeah,
but no, but it was definitely an enlightening experience to be able to sit down and take time to talk to you, and I enjoyed the hell out of this.
and so did I. So I'm going to try to perhaps with the Directors Hub, like basically a little information from the Directors Hub. If you've kind of been wondering about that, it's basically a network where, yeah, I've kind of explained the bulk of it, but I'm kind of surprised because it's run very well, even though the people who run it are kind of young, to say the least. They are actually pretty capable, and I'm impressed by what they're making currently. And perhaps I will have one or both of the creators of this on my next podcast if they want to.
Cool. That would be really cool.
So, yeah, basically, thank you for joining us, Mekbeasy.
Absolutely, man. Anytime. I'm always available.
Forever alone.
Yeah, forever
I took that the
alone.
wrong way.
Exactly. That's the YouTube
Yeah.
motto, though. Everyone's like, you want to do something? Yes.
Always available.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not doing anything else. So
Yeah.
yeah, but absolutely though, man. It was a really good time. I feel better. No. But I will definitely be putting this. I'll put links to the video and links to your channel and all your work on my channel for sure.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
But I try to, just a quick heads up to anybody who listens to it that isn't already subscribed to me.
Yeah,
I try
fucking
to
subscribe to him. You don't dare to
Yeah.
go any further without going into my channel, click my sub box, and click his bloody subscribe button. You do that.
Yeah, because I'll try to subscribe to anybody who subs to me if they have content, but I'll try to actually get in contact with the person first. Like, if they sub to me, I'll go to their thing. If they have content, I'll send them a message first, like, hi, thanks for the sub. And if they reply with a, yeah, no problem, then I'll give them a subscribe. But if I say, hey, thanks, and then they don't write back, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, but the
So,
thing that most people who watch just YouTube videos don't comment. Most people are kind of stupid and like that. They don't want to make an
Yeah.
awful lot of themselves. So basically,
YouTube-
so if you say thanks for the
YouTube-
sub, which I kind of get sometimes, I don't tend to write back. That's not the way we do. Since subscribers with me is a very casual thing. It's basically, yeah, I like your content, subscribe. If I subscribe to you, just I don't want to get involved with you. I don't think like, yeah. But if I start commenting on your videos, since if you remember I said I was kind of precious with my comments. If I start commenting on your video, I want to have something with you to do. I basically want to do something with you, whatever.
So that's good, man. That's good. So definitely. All right. So, Definitely though, I'm looking forward to the content. My normal things, I'm gonna stick with that for now. My Let's Play is probably gonna start in about another week or so, but I'm not real sure.
Yeah,
when.
but try to, if I can give you some like hint what you should try to do. Try to kind of get a backlog. Try to just take your Saturday and just record 7 episodes.
Ah, very nice idea. All right, that's funny. I didn't even think of that. I'm glad that
Yeah,
that you
I
brought
kind of,
that up.
I kind of try to have a like day per day basis. But the thing is, my Wednesday, ironically enough, is like the day when I'm doing the director sub. I have like about 20 minutes of free time. Yeah,
Ooh.
I first it's an educational seminar. I come home from school. I'm like, okay, must drink something and something, and then it's an educational seminar, and it's straight afterwards I have taekwondo practice. I'm a red belt. Hey. And then it's
Hey.
like I come home. It's like 10 o'clock, and I take a shower and I eat, and I'm exhausted, and I go to bed. But I get 20 minutes in between the time when I come home to the educational seminar and the time I go to training. So it's kind of, if I ever upload anything on Wednesday, that's the time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very good. So all right. Well, then I'll let you go for now then, and I will try to bug you as much as possible from this point forward. No.
Not a problem.
But thanks a lot for all the help and this level of exposure.
Yeah, basically one
and
thing
then
with the community thing, I just remembered this, I kind of want to bring this up. And the community thing, Mekbeasy, just for people watching, Mekbeasy is doing something community thing, is thinking of creating some sort of, like, outside of YouTube community thing. Some forum thing, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Trying to put together a forum, something similar, in essence to Together to the Top, but outside of Together to the Top and outside of YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's not really just a bunch of people commenting on a video or everybody swarms one channel. It's more like everybody visits one core forum and learns about new people and new subs, and then you can communicate and intermingle with one another.
Definitely. It's an exciting adventure, and if you have just heard about this TTT thing for the first time through this video, I just try to get to know more about it. It's a great thing. Do it through Mekbeasy. He needs the support. And yeah, by the way, Mekbeasy, I would be kind of happy to try to make that forum with you if you would want that.
Absolutely, I'm going to employ all the amount of help and that I can get definitely from people like you and like Emerald and that. So as soon as I get that rolling, I'm keeping the project in headway right now because I want to have it down on paper as much as possible before I put it into practice. So as soon as I'm really comfortable with what I have and my ideas, I will then reach out to you, and I'll reach out to Emroth, and I'll reach out to Aimbot, and I'll compile.
Yeah, basically,
feedback,
Emroth and Embot, they are really great people. Also, you should sub to them.
Yeah, if you find them.
If you find them interesting, just sub to them. But yeah, I think we'll wrap this up here. So,
all right, man.
Whoever you
Thanks
are,
a lot, and
whoever you are watching, please subscribe to me and Mekbeasy and all that thing. And yeah,
and thanks for sitting through a 1 hour and 40 some odd minute
yeah.
talk. You guys, but I hope that those of you that watched it did find it entertaining, and thank you for watching, and also thank you for letting me be a part of this. And
I would like to thank you for wanting to be a part of this.
yeah, absolutely. So, all right, very cool.
Goodbye.